Hey guys, thanks a lot for coming by. We want to talk about this effort to attract big events to Detroit. A couple years ago, I assume you both went to the NFL draft. Maybe not. I can't think of something as electrifying as a couple 100,000 people packed into downtown Detroit, and everyone would like to see more of those kind of events. Obviously, we have the NCAA coming up, a Final Four next April. But talk to us a little bit about the sort of start with you, Representative. Tell me a little bit about the history of funding our convention centers, how we do it, and what we kind of need to do going forward or in the future.
So yeah, thanks, Chad. The first thing I'll say, as a lifelong Detroiter, I couldn't have been more prouder to watch that NFL draft. And as a policymaker, how can we get more of this? Or better yet, how can we benefit from what we have at the time? So we've taken some steps to work with the hotels to do that. And Visit Detroit has benefited, and he's able to attract. But there's some other things that we can do, as you said, to attract conventions. Joe and I have been to conventions all over the country. And the one thing we've noticed lacking is hotel space in the city and the expansion of Huntington Place. So these two bills do that. And the way they do it, right now, there's a state subsidy that ends in 2030. So we're staggering that, and this bill will put them on great footing to not need it, but to benefit all 83 counties as well.
What kind of Representative Aragona? Tell us a little bit about the bill. What does it do? What's the taxing mechanism involved?
Yeah, so it helps expand out some of the dollars that go directly to the Huntington Place to help with a number of different things, such as a new hotel. It also extends some of the just liquor and hotel taxes throughout the region. Doesn't increase them, but just extends out the period that they're able to be utilized for the Huntington Place. So it's a number of things like that, as Tyrone said, to be able to help with this kind of Detroit-centric type of facility that can really help out even where I'm from in the suburbs. You know, if Detroit's doing really well, so are the suburbs, and so is really the rest of the state. Another thing that's in the bill, it's actually in my section of this bill package, it allows for a little bit quicker movement of the Huntington Place board. Right now, there's a 5-member board. If somebody's gone, for instance, you just can't vote because it has to be a unanimous vote, right? So we're going to allow for them to have alternates when needed, or if there's some type of for some reason they can't vote on something, if there's a conflict of interest, it does allow for somebody else to vote, and that way some of these votes can take place sooner, so we can get the business done quicker.
So a change in governance. Now, I think you're both old enough to remember when Detroit and the suburbs couldn't agree on how to manage Detroit's convention center. I mean, a couple generations ago of Macomb County politicians wouldn't sit here and probably have been so in agreement with their Detroit counterpart. What has changed in your minds about the relationship and about how the region treats Huntington Place as a regional asset versus a Detroit asset?
That is really a great point. And I'm old enough to remember when there was that, us against Detroit for real. I think that everyone has recognized the benefits of having a regional conference center, but also the authority that it's under now gives everybody equal access, equal autonomy, the ability to say yay or nay. So I think it's more inclusive than it has been in decades. And I think that now, when you look at Detroit, the ecosystem just expands Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and even to Washington to the rest of the state. So the resurgence we've had in the last 5 years is because of that cooperation across county lines with every county executive, with communities to say, how do we all benefit from this, as opposed to why should we fight this?
Representative?
Yeah. I'm not quite old enough to remember when there was that much of a fight. I'm sorry. But I think that to Tyrone's point, ensuring that, Oakland, Macomb, we each have our own says on this board to say, all right, let us at least help guide you. I think that says a lot. I think that's big for those two counties. And from Macomb County's standpoint, especially under the leadership of Mark Hackle, I mean, he's always a guy who says, all right, let's figure out how to accomplish something. Let's figure out how we can say yes rather than just being obstinate or being in the way. And really, that's a proper form of governing. And that type of leadership is very infectious, I think, to a lot of us in Macomb County.
You say that with your Macomb with everybody pin
Macomb with everybody, baby. That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, but forever, a long time, there was quite a lot of division about this convention center, the water department, and other sort of regional assets.
Yeah.
Obviously, smart.
Oh. I think as the population shifted and folks moved to different areas, I think that people came to understand that it's not one versus the other, it's all or nothing. But if we don't have a strong heart, which is the city of Detroit, we don't have a strong body, which is the rest of the state. So collectively, to sit down and have clear minds, because I remember Coleman Young, L. Brooks, before they had a county executive in Macomb, when folks would not sit down and have those conversations.
Sure.
Now I think when you think about even this conference, when you get the big four, you get the county executives and the mayor to sit down. That has gone on for some years now.
Yep.
So the goal of cooperation and regionalization has benefited everybody. So I think that's a good thing. And I think with Huntington Place being the epicenter of possibilities, what they've done and what these bills will make them able to do, I think we'll all benefit.
So one of the big issues for getting a big event like the Final Four, like maybe the NBA Finals or All-Star Game. We'd love to have the NBA Finals, but we couldn't quite bring that up this year. Sorry, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Or the Frozen Four, or some of these other big-time events, even another Super Bowl maybe come to Detroit.
Yes.
Is got to have lots of hotel rooms. So we have a new hotel being built, a Marriott attached to at the old Joe Louis Arena site, attached to Huntington Place. We have the existing Marriott that is in, I think everyone would say, decline because of the rents and being essentially vacated by General Motors and all kinds of other companies. So what do we need to do to kind of reinforce the need for these large hotel blocks and keep the big events coming into town?
Yeah, I think that's part of what these bills are doing, is to ensure that we're getting an extra huge block of rooms, right? And I think once some of these bigger events keep coming in, I think people are going to recognize how important that is. If we can get people from all over the region and all over the nation to come in for, like you said, whether it's a final of some sort, a sporting event, whether it's a large convention of some sort. I mean, that's really what's important, and that's really going to spur on economic impact in Detroit especially, but throughout the region, right? I mean, if you have a huge draw elsewhere, it's really going to help when you're coming to Detroit. You got to be there. Hey, I'm going to go check out something in Macomb or Oakland or another part of Detroit. I think that's really going to have this great economic impact throughout our state, but especially in Southeast.
And that's the thing. Look at other cities, other regions, and the economic impact of having a convention.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a Final Four. It could be just a convention of lawyers, a convention of state lawmakers, all converging on a place, and you want to have the ability to accommodate them all. I mean, when the Council of State Governments came from Canada, the Midwest, they had a great time to come to Detroit. I think our reputation has changed. I think that the image has changed. And I think we have an opportunity to build on that. I mean, we still have Motown. We have the Henry Ford Museum. Got the Lions, Tigers. We're doing well. So this is a place where before we had to say, come on in. Folks may have a convention in Southfield or even in Macomb. They're flocking to downtown now.
Representative Aragona, I want to talk about the future of the RenCen for a minute. There is an effort underway to expand the brownfield incentive in order to allow that project to qualify. There's a multi-billion-dollar essentially proposal on the table from Dan Gilbert, Bedrock Company, and General Motors to take down 2 of the towers that face the riverfront, open up a lot of space in the riverfront for some kind of a public space, or I think maybe we need an aquarium, but just my opinion. And
got one on Belle Isle, but go ahead.
And then we do, but maybe dolphins right at the foot of downtown would be pretty cool. Nonetheless, and then they would reduce the size of the hotel from 1,200 rooms to 700 rooms, convert one of the towers to residential, keep one as office. I think I explained it all in less than 30 seconds. But
great job.
It's a very, very complex project.
Yeah.
But it's being pitched as basically the only way to keep the Renaissance Center as we know it. Otherwise, and I've written this, those skyscrapers will become the next Packard plant if nothing is done.
So I think that the plan was you've got to figure a way to thread the needle, because the Ren Center is a part of the DNA of the city of Detroit, just like the Spirit of Detroit statue, the Joe Louis fist. So to maintain 3. Because if nothing else, if we didn't learn anything from COVID about office space, then shame on us. You go into the Renaissance Center now, GM did a heck of a job. Because as a youngster going there, it wasn't a really place that you could navigate. But they did a great job. We just have to keep up with the times. I think those 3 towers, more accessibility to the best riverfront in the country, now I think would do us well as a destination city.
It's hard to navigate them as an adult. So talk about the brownfield legislation. What's the hold up here?
Yeah, so I think there's always multiple ways to get any type of project done. I've seen a lot of what the plan could potentially be for those towers. I think, I think it's a good project. I think that could really bring Detroit to the next level if we can figure out how to accomplish that correctly. As far as transformational brownfields go in general, unfortunately we've gone through a season the last few years of different types of economic development programs that didn't work or weren't quite used properly. I think transformational brownfield is got to be one of the best out there, because this is one where a developer has to come. They have to show you exactly why they want it. It's only for site readiness. They're not going to use plenty of other taxpayer dollars for a variety of things. They need to make this site ready. That's what it's for. And then they're going to build, prove to you what their numbers are, build it. It's going to be accomplished, and then they're going to get that credit back. And that's really kind of what you should always be driving with economic development. I think it's going to help in a variety of areas throughout the state. For me in Macomb County, we have an old mall there, the Sterling Heights Mall, Lakeside Mall.
Yep.